Good morning. It is December 1st. Pretty excited, right? Christmas is around the corner. I'm eating eggs and potato with no meat. Chopping up my food like a person who chops up his food. I remember, because that's how I chop it up. So one of my exes was cooking for me and they chopped it up for me. It was, I guess, cute. So this morning I woke up. It's 5 a.m. So I was up at 4. Check my emails. I got a lot of things in the works. And the first email that came up was a message from my ex-girlfriend in Japan. She said, these people, she gave me the link. She's like, these people called me, so can you contact them to see what they want? And I was like, oh, man. So it could be anything, because when I left kind of in a rush. So it could have been some taxes I didn't pay. It could be the house that I left, the way I left it. Because on the last week I was there, I was like trying to pay my my electric bill. And I was like, yo, I'll come down to your office and pay it right now. Like, no. We got to send a letter. We have to send the bill. It's like, I'm going to leave in 3 days. Now, I guess I should have done all this. I didn't. It was that. But if I would have done it, because I came home, then I went to Japan. Or I went to Japan, I came home, and then I went back. So I should have done it. But then I was doing a funeral, but these are all excuses. They're good excuses, but nevertheless. Or something else. I don't know what it is. So usually when I have to deal with Japan, I make a Skype account and get the Japan package. $6 for 300 minutes for a month. And they got a trial, so for a month. So see what that is and deal with it. The company, the people who are talking about me making rap profiles for their LinkedIn pages, I think they ghosted me. That happens too on Fiverr. People reach out to you and then they disappear. So somebody was saying, why have you ever considered like teaching private students? I considered it. And I did it once. I was teaching music courses to people around the world. But it's really stressful because when it worked, when I just launched it and I had like 6 students or whatever, and I was getting those little paychecks. It wasn't a lot, but just a little here in addition to working. I was flying, man. I was preaching to people like, yo, man, if you know how to blink your eyes 100,000 times, I'm sure there's somebody who wants to know. Make a course about that. And it was cool. But then, like, you know, I taught them everything I could, so they naturally moved on. One guy was like, yeah. I never heard from him again. And I felt bad because he paid. I was like, these were my prices. One price, like, what was I charged? I think I was charging like $30 for 4 lessons. One lesson is $30, but I just came in at that price point because I didn't know. So I feel bad he didn't get all his lessons, but then it's like, you know, you were getting a deal anyway. But then, and then the last one on New Year's Eve or Christmas Day. I think it was Christmas Day. Yeah, because I had on my ugly sweater. She was like, yo, can we, like, she started talking, dreaming big, like, yeah, can you help me work on an album? I would pay you, how much you want me to pay you? I'll pay you in advance. So that's who I was talking to on Christmas Day. The next day, she's like, I can't do that. Bye. I don't think she said, like, happy holidays or any of that. She just bounced. And it is what it is. So if you go in it by yourself, alone, That's a little stressful. Whereas if you work, I mean, that's music related, but the same thing would happen. But if you're working for a company, you just do that one specific thing. People's all like, how come they only make this much? Because all that overhead, they make sure that there's the infrastructure. Like most people, unless you work in real estate, you're not worried about location marketing, unless that's your job. Firing, hiring people, that's all farmed out to other people. Collections. When you're the sole owner, you got to do all that. Find a partner. But they always say, as a musician, you got to do all those things. You got to wear all those hats, even if you don't like it. Like the website, go check out my website, rhyminggaijin.com. What you see there took me at least a good 4 hours to make. 4 hours. And it looks like shit. And it hasn't been updated since. Because that shit is hard for me. I could write a rhyme in a fraction of a time at the drop at a dime. It's always going to be fine. I can go line for line. I don't have to rewind. I just be spitting my mind. Like that part's easy. I can make the beats to it. But to make the website, then I get all like, drool. And you know what happens when I start working on stuff like that? I get really sleepy. Be all like, how come I can't change this link to... Because sometimes I use a template, and the template will make the links like some purple and yellow. Like, I don't want a purple link. I want a red link. And there's no instructions because it's like, I guess it's just everyone knows this. So you pop it open and you're looking, this is WordPress. You pop it over and you're looking at the code. And it's just like, next thing you know, I'm in this chair just... Once I try to hire somebody, I was like, I'll pay $200. Just make the site. And they started asking all these, well, I need your credit card. Like, why do you need my credit card? Well, because, no, I'm not giving you my credit card. He's like, like, it's just, why you gotta be so shady for? But yeah. The reason I'm up so early, I have to go to work early. I don't have to. I'm doing my due diligence, whatever. So my teacher that I work with, she's in a conference for 3 days. Yesterday, the principal was in our classroom. As I mentioned, my classroom, the 6th graders are little monsters. Cute little monsters, but little monsters nevertheless. So the principal was in there, and they're just kind of like... Then after lunch, the principal wasn't there, and they start to slowly get back to their natural states of being. And one of the other aides, like me, was in the classroom. So at one point, there was 4 teachers in the classroom. So now there's only 3. And she's a grandma. I'm just an uncle. It doesn't really matter, but if I had kids, I would develop my, I got a look. Like, come on, dude, would you just... But you need more than a look. You need to I don't know. I don't want to yell at the kids, but that seems to be the only way to do what you got to do. So she was taking these kids out in the hall and say, why are you being little monsters? But she didn't say, she said, just because the principal's not here, you're not going to... Then she sent them back in the classroom. And then she was like, they probably think I'm the Wicked Witch. I'm like, I don't know if you could do this every day for 7 hours a day, because that's what the other teacher was doing and it was stressing her out. I bet she's happy right now. She's sitting there in her little conference just like... Well, actually, she's the type to be nervous. Like, she's like, I wake up in the middle of the night thinking, did I do this? Like, remember I was just saying something, I got to deal with something in Japan. I don't know what it is. And I'm not going to think any more about it until I tried to call, but they closed. That's why I got up early, too. When I woke up, I had about 20 minutes to call them, so I had to make the Skype. And then I did call them, but it wasn't going through because you know how people are at the end of their shifts. They're like, I ain't answering nothing. And that's that. I'm not going to think much more about it. And then tonight when I come home, I'll try to call them when they open. And go from there. But she would have been like, a lot of people are like that nervous and energy. You can't change. Things ain't gonna move any faster. Whatever it is still gonna be there when I call them. So, but she's like that. She's probably, so she could be at her conference like, oh, I hope they're not eating the substitute teachers. I hope Matthew's okay. If I was her, I'd just be out there. When I come back, I'll assess. But I was thinking, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I was gonna bribe the kids. I'm like, we'll have a pizza party next Friday if you guys could be good today. But they might expect pizza parties every time. But it's rare that I would be there without the teacher for that long. So we'll think about it. But the reason I'm going to work an hour early is because I have to teach math, religion, science, and English. I don't know about that. So I need to go in there, read the books, try to get a lesson. This is how we used to do it in Japan. How I used to do it. Just go in there. Because all she did was throw a lesson plan. And these books are thick. And yesterday it was raining, so I couldn't take them home. But yeah, so that's what's on the top of my mind right now. Just get through the day. Only half the day. But yeah, man, these kids, like at lunch, they said there should never be only one teacher in the cafeteria at one time. Because, there's a lot of kids, we got to keep our eye on them. That's what the principal said. Yesterday, and today, and Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I was the only one in the cafeteria with first, second, and third graders. Now, it's whatever. Anyone comes with me, oh, they're too loud. Well, get the other teachers. Or you. But everyone's just, anyway. So, it's going about its thing. Little kids are being little, so they'll raise their hand and be like, Tommy said doo-doo. Tommy, don't say that. I come back. Lisa said pop-pop. And then some kids like, he said fuck. You're both in trouble. He might have said it. I didn't hear him, and you repeating it is, but I'm not their teacher. And for me to write down, it's like, just don't do that anymore. And then I go to the second graders. Second graders, they got their toys on their tables. So they have their little toys, and they're all like, like, you're not allowed to have toys in lunch. Put it away. Put it down. I come back. I see they're still doing it. Third graders, they're the worst. Third graders are like, there's one girl who's always crying. She comes up to me crying. Like, that's her permanent face. And I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, I forgot my lunch. And that's her permanent range of voice. And I'm like, well, see if the lunch lady will give you food. And she gets the food. And the teacher comes over. She's like, what's wrong? I forgot my lunch. But she has the lunch in her hand. So eat the lunch. Then there's a boy who does it. He, like it's given. He does something. They do something back to him. And he comes to me to tell on me. And I just kind of be like, well, don't sit with him then. He's just, and he goes and he puts his head down. And I feel bad. But what kind of justice can I do? And then they start coming up to me, third graders. So we were playing rock, paper, scissors, and then I won, but he didn't acknowledge me. But again, I'm happy that no one is stabbing. And sometimes the little kids have to go to the bathroom. I feel really bad because the rule is we can't let them go. We have to go with them. Well, we can't let them go. But in this case, I'm the only adult in the cafeteria, so I cannot leave to take a student out. Usually it's the girls who have to go, and I can't go take the bath. I can't. So I had to take this little girl to the teacher's room where they're hiding and say, we have an emergency. She's like, oh, I gotta go. So she took her. But I don't know. It is what it is. It's not what I signed up for, but I'd rather not. I wouldn't want to be out in the cold, like picking up, like doing stuff outside in the rain. Oh, speaking of, so at the end of the day, the teacher said, "Hey, can you?" So we had another teacher who does outside duties, like when the kids. She's a crossing guard, so she's like, "Can you go out there and watch the kids?" I'm like, Now, mind you, I'm supposed to leave at 2:30. She sends me out at 2:30. She didn't come out until 3:30. So I was out there standing in the rain, no umbrella, watching the kids. Now, there was other adults. The principal was out there and all that. But I'm just doing my thing. And then when she came out, she didn't even say thank you. She just walked away. So I went home. But, whatever. Because my companies are like, gotta watch your hours. I mean, we didn't work on Monday, but I mean, it is what it is. No one's gonna. They're not. And then I saw this, which you probably the 7th grader was standing out there talking to the 6th grader, one of my students. Just chopping it up. Now, the rule is once you leave the school, you should go to your house. But a lot of them are waiting for the cars to pick them up. And the system is with a walkie-talkie. Okay, Lisa's dad is here. Send her out. But these walkie-talkies are like from 1980. So you cannot hear them in the classroom. And then the kids, since they're always talking, it is really an ordeal. So I never seen it on the outside. So cars are pulling up. You run to the car. And then you make, okay, Lisa's mom is here. Send her out. And then we're waiting for like 10 minutes because the kids, they want to stop and talk to their friends. So it's just like, can you send Lisa out? Oh, yeah, I sent her out. Then Lisa comes out. She's looking for the car. So there's one kid, 7th grader. He's standing there. The principal's like, all right, your mom's here. Go get to the car. And the sass that this 7th grader had, he's just like, yo, I ain't gonna do that shit. He didn't say shit, but his whole demeanor was just like, why you talking to me like that, man? Like, he had that posture, and she's just like, she had her posture. Get to your mom's car. He's like, yo, man, the car's not down there, man. Like, I'm just watching this. And she's just like, get to the car. Like, whatever, that's drawn. Bugging. That's so weird. So then he walks down there, and then his mom drives up there. So then he comes back down. He's like, you see, man, my mom comes up here like always, man. So he walks, and he's just like, he gets in the car, and he shoots his look out the window. He's just like, I saw murder in his eyes. And that's the principal. She's at top. I mean, the priest is the toppity top. And then and there is no, like, if she's the top, so if he says that to her, so if a teacher had a problem, she sent him to the principal's office, what would have come of that? And then that's kind of school we're at. We're in a junior gangster's paradise, a Catholic gangster's paradise. Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's the most pressing. Teaching the whole class today without a lesson plan, but I'll be okay, I guess. Second pressing is tomorrow. I'm supposed to do a gig for someone from Fiverr. We talked and everything. They're cool. They're normal. Whatever. Legit. So they're like, can you do it tomorrow? I work tomorrow. But I'm like, yeah, I could do it. Because if it worked out all right, I'd take a half day and then come. So do it in the morning and then come and go to work in the afternoon. And then the little pay that I get for that one will kind of cover. But I haven't talked to him. I mean, I wasn't on my P's and Q's. So they emailed me at work yesterday. I said, I'll email you after work. I emailed them after work, but they didn't get back to me. So I still got one more day to confirm everything. When are you going to pay me? How are you going to? Of course, it's all about the payment, but are we going to do a sound check? Basically, what they're hiring me to do is freestyle on a Zoom chat. People will put some words in the comment section, and I'll freestyle their thing for like 15 minutes. You know I can do that, but just the logistics. And again, it's something I could do by myself, but he already has, that's their thing. Like sometimes they have magicians, sometimes they have singers. Like they do this. I don't know how to do it, and I don't know how to monetize it either. I mean, I could do it right now, but it's... So just confirm with him, because this is exciting. I would like to do that. I don't want to be... And then, so on Fiverr, how it works is, if it's through Fiverr, they're going to take their cut. But what they guarantee is, if there's any issues, they're the in-between. So if I have a dispute, they didn't pay me, I think it goes into escrow. So they're going to pay me regardless, because it's kind of frozen. And then on their side, it's like, he didn't show up. So then they could like cancel it. If it's 1-to-1, if I take off from work, they never contact me. Since I went outside of Fiverr, it's on me. Some people are like that. One guy, he contacted me and we went outside of Fiverr, and it was a mess. I was teaching his son, 12-year-old son, how to make beats. And I was excited. I like teaching kids because they're sponges, man. You just tell them a little bit and they're just running with that. And I thought the dad would be there with his son, but he just left his son. So it's me and his son. And his son is being all like he would take the webcam and shake it, which was really disoriented. Plus, because I was, to keep it, because again, I was just trying to be above and beyond. I was waking up at 2 a.m. to do like a 3 a.m. session, so it would be in their time when he got off of school or something. So I'm kind of out of it. And yeah. And then the times were kind of weird. One time I'm on, he wasn't on. The next time I'm not on, but he's calling me. He's calling my phone like, where are you? I'm like, we didn't have a session. He's like, come on. And then it ended with, okay, I'll pay you for one more session. So I did the session, but he never paid me. And I'm like, are you going to pay me? He ghosted me. So if it was through Fiverr, it wouldn't have happened. This happened a couple times. And whenever you go outside the thing, like I had a student, we did the lesson, and then we're talking for like 4 hours. Just about life, Japan. I just started buying sample packs and all that, and I was explaining the quality and stuff. And then when it came time to pay, he didn't pay. Like, anyway, so that's the story of me. I'm a businessman, but I am not the greatest. When it comes to money, I don't like, I just want it to be, and that's why, again, working at a company, at least, whatever, but at the end of the pay period, there's a paycheck in your account. I don't want to be hunting people down. You got my money? My food is cold, but I'm gonna eat it. But yeah. What else? I was thinking. So, do you remember when I got a box of chocolate chip cookies from the convenience store guy? He just gave it to me here. It wasn't a holiday. He just gave it to me. And I was saying it was really kind, and someone was like, I don't know what they were saying, but they're just like taking something beautiful and making it not beautiful. Anyway, so I I bought a card. I was gonna give it to him on Thanksgiving Day, but I didn't feel like leaving the house. And then I was gonna do it on Black Friday, but I didn't feel like leaving the house. It was raining that day, I think. So on Saturday, I walked up there. I mean, what happened was I bought the card, but I didn't fill it out. So every time I passed it. So anyway, I go up on Saturday, I buy my cookies, and he's like, because whenever anyone walks in there, he just be like, "Hey man, how you doing? You doing good? It's a beautiful day." And even if you're having a bad day, just having someone like, "Oh, it's a beautiful day, we're alive." And I ask him, "How's business?" He said, "Business is good." It's just a weird banter. The other guy who works down there, I come in there like, "What do you want?" Like he has that. "What do you want?" I'm like, put the soda down. $1. I put the dollar. He snatches out my hand. "Have a nice day." Like I hate that, but it's so close, you know. But so after that, he didn't say Happy Thanksgiving. I don't know his ethnicity. Middle Eastern. I don't know. We didn't. But what's always on the TV is like Bollywood type music that you would see in like a Indian restaurant. Maybe he's Indian. I don't know. But he's like, "Thank you," and then I hand him the card. He said, "Is this for me?" And he opens it up, and the front of the card says, "There's a lot of great people in the world, and you're one of them." And I just keep walking out the door. Oh, he said, "Thank you," and we did a fist bump, and then I just keep walking in as he's reading it. And I just said, "You know, man, thank you for everything. My mom passed away, and my life was being filled with animosity." No, I didn't say all that, but just you are the light in the time of darkness. I didn't get that colorful either, but just thank you. I appreciate it. My name's Matt. So, freaking fly. I don't like flies. Because there was a little fly, right? And I got like black peppers on my eggs. Like they all look like little flies. I'm gonna eat it. I don't want to eat no damn fly. So my kids, right? They drink milk, little milk containers, and there's a date on it. And the date was saying December 1st. Yesterday was November 30th. The kid's like, "It's expired." Like, no, you still got one day. Like, I don't feel good. But it's a mind thing. I'm pretty sure if it said December 13th, they wouldn't feel it. But now they're just like, "My stomach hurts." So like this, I feel like I'm eating a bunch of flies. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't even know where that fly came from. Like a walking fly. You could probably see it if you rewind the video. This is pretty. So yesterday, this was interesting. So yesterday, every one day is math. I don't have to go to math anymore. So I was sitting in the class because I didn't go to math. Back in the past, I would go to math, but now I sit in the class on my ass in the class. I do have class. I hope the kids pass. If they did, it'd be a blast. Today I have to teach them math, but yesterday I didn't go to math. Or I didn't go to math. So I'm sitting there, and then I had to go to the bathroom. I didn't go to math. Ooh. So I was gonna go to the bathroom, and I passed the Spanish teacher's class, and then she says, "Hello, Mr. Bailey," and I wave, but then I kind of go back and I pop my head and say, "Hey." She's like, "Hey." She's going, I guess she's Colombian. I think she said that. So she's like, "Yeah." So I'm like, "Did you leave yet?" Because I heard she's leaving. She's like, "Yeah, I'm leaving tonight after 12 or something. And she was just talking about how she doesn't want to have so many suitcases. I didn't say, I know what you mean, but I know what she meant. So when I came back from Japan, I had 3 suitcases. Because I had 3 suitcases, I had to pay $250 to get to the airport. 1 suitcase, I could have just hopped on a bus or took the local. But 3 suitcases, and it was snowing, raining that day. Otherwise, I would have just dragged those shits. And then because of COVID, there was no direct buses. It was a mess. And because I had 3, check this out. I had to pay $300, $250, whatever, to take the taxi from my house to the airport. Because I had that extra suitcase, I had to pay $200 more for extra baggage. And because they all were packed to the thing, that was another $50 on top of that. That's like $600 in suitcases. Not cool. Not cool. And a lot of stuff that I brought back in all those suitcases, they're still in the suitcases. I haven't really... This is like clothes, like memories and shit. Equipment. My lights, cameras, mics and all that. But anyway, she was talking about she didn't want to thing. And then me being me, it doesn't matter what the conversation is. Well, it goes like this. She said something like, the kids, as I said, my kids or her kids at the school. Like the kids, they're just, we never say they're bad. They're just, and I'm just, like, they just have no respect. I think she was saying that. I'm like, yeah, I don't know the kids like that, but I feel like they don't have respect for us because they don't have respect for their own family, How they talk to their parents is how they talk to us, adults. He's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, back in the day, it wasn't like that for me. And I was like, yeah, I know what you mean. And I was like, oh, maybe it's because the kids are younger. Like, kids having kids would kind of break the... so every time she came at me with that, I would come at this angle. Some people don't like that, but she was, yeah, I could see that. And then she shared how her mom would always say how she talks to her daughter. She's like, why are you letting her talk to you? She's like, she got to express herself. And then we're talking about snowflakes. I don't know if that's a thing, but my ex-girlfriend from Finland, he's like, people are all snowflakes. Which is an interesting phrase because Finland, there's a lot of snow. But, people are so soft. The teacher, Spanish teacher, was saying glass, crystal. She was saying crystal. Kids are like crystals. You say something and they just shatter. And she was talking about how her husband, when he yells at the girls, the daughters, they all start crying. Now, again, we don't talk. I don't know her like that. But, again, the conversation was just natural. I still had to go to the bathroom. I didn't end up going to the bathroom until way after lunch. Because then anyway. So we were talking about that. And I'm like, yeah. And I was like, well. And then she was saying how the kids are like talking about gender things. And I'm like, well, it is the, I'm always trying to think of the right way to say it. It is the times. Like, I don't remember anyone talking about gender-related things growing up. Of course, there's people who, or whatever, but it wasn't a conversation. It wasn't in the news. It wasn't a thing. But now it's always a thing. It's in, like, the Avatar, the Korra, the last scene, the 2 girls were kissing, or they were about to. I think it went to black. There's a bunch of shows where it's like, and they're for kids, and kids are watching them. It'll be a thought to think about. And the Smurfs, it was just Smurfing, and the Snorks, and the Jetsons, and the Flintstones, and Proud Family. It wasn't about gender. Anyway, so I was just like, it's what they see. It's what they're going to talk about. And I was just like, and she's like, yeah, they're always saying I'm standing up for my friends' rights. I'm like, yeah, well, these kids, they kind of grew up in the Black Lives movement. I'm 41, so Martin Luther King has passed. So from 81 up till, I want to say Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, I guess there's always been protests. I think there was a million women's march and other stuff, but Black Lives Matter was like more buttons and Facebook pages, and these kids would have Instagram and social media, so they're getting it from their TikToks, and everyone's like, Black Lives Matter, da, da, da. And it's always in the news. These kids had the COVID snap. So 2 years of their life has just kind of reshaped. It feels like the Thanos snap. 1 year ago, my mom was alive. I think I was talking to her because she's like, you got to come home. And now I'm here. It's so surreal. But we're just talking about all types of things. And she said something like, yeah, kids today think they know everything. And again, I'm like, well, it's different. They know a lot because they're able to use Google and they can get the information, which it's harder for us because like, I don't know how to use TikTok. Kids just, I mean, I know how to use it, but. And then she was saying like one of her kids, I think it's the 7th graders. I don't teach them. She's like, he said he's a businessman, professional. Like, how is he a professional? And I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know what he was talking about, but it is possible that he could be making money on TikTok or Instagram or selling recycled or refurbished shoes or thrifting or getting paid to be an influencer. Like, these are viable sources for young people without, and I'm not saying he's like a billionaire or nothing, but he could be making good money for his age doing non-traditional things. And I'll just, there's a line kind of. After a certain point, I feel like the previous generation just doesn't understand anymore. They just, like, I'm not pushing to go to school and get an education because a lot of times you don't need it if you are comfortable. I saw this thing. It was a little Jamaican boy, and the mom was like, how come you don't got a 10 out of 10? Or the mom's like, why don't you, she's like, you talk too much. I'm trying to help you with your homework. And the little boy's like, me get a 10 out of, I can't do his accent. Me got, I'm not gonna, he just said, so think your best Jamaican accent. So he said, I get 10s out of 10s every day. He's doing, like, it was really weird. I think he's saying this from someone because his mannerism, whatever. That's why I don't like watch little kids on the internet, because they may look cute, whatever they're doing. They sound old or they dance this way. But I think it's because that's what they see. That's what they do. But anyway, he's just like, I get 10s out of 10s. His mom's like, you got a 9 out of 10 last time. He's like, why that matter? I get 10s out of 10s and 9s out of 10s. My teacher said me good. And the mom's like, well, you should be getting 10s out of 10s. He said, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. The people in Jamaica not perfect. At this point, I'm like, he's right. And then he goes, me love myself. I am proud of my name. It was so, no, there's a lot of sass. I don't know how that, if I ever said that to my dad, I would be like, or my mom or grandma, like, but again, younger generation can't really do what they were doing, but he's right in the sense that to sit there and stress over that extra point, if you're happy with the 9 out of 10, which is good, and if it's consistent, she should be happy. I mean, she should push him to always excel, but at what point are you forcing them? Because being in Japan, I saw this a lot. Kids would be stressed out, having to get high marks on everything, high marks in this club and high marks, and they just, which isn't healthy. Now the other side, some slacker kids all like, well, at least I'm breathing. That's all that matters. And maybe there's some parents like, that's right, that's all that you're breathing. But yeah, so the kids today are different because it's a different time. And I don't have kids, so I can't really, don't quote me on any of this, but it's hard. And from every parent that I've encountered, they said it's hard. Like, no one is going around saying it's easy. You could, and I don't think it's going to get easier unless like, I think it would be hard for kids to just be like, okay, I'm going to listen to you, mom, dad, whoever, because you're the adult. Kids, I think I vividly remembered. Actually, it'd be wrong of me to say that's what happened to me, because it didn't. I pushed until I stopped pushing, and then just kind of, okay, I guess it's good to wake up early and not miss the school bus, because you don't want to miss your airplane. You don't want to be late to work. There's consequences. And I guess, as parents, we want to, I'm not a parent, but as parents, we want to teach our kids how to be ready for society. But I think the way it's done, it has to be a better way. Like, I'm all for having kids have like junior credit cards and all that shit, because I know it teach them how to manage money and credit and manage their checking things. Kind of set them up, even with like junior stocks and all that. I think that's great. They'll get them prepared. Have them like rent stuff at a young age. Kind of, you're there. You have a link to their account so you can watch them. That way, otherwise, when they get to college and those predatory, I don't know if they still do that, but you have your cigarette companies, you have your alcohol companies, you have your credit card companies giving you free stuff. Here. And if you're all by yourself, now it didn't happen to me. That all happened to me in high school. Yeah, do the math. Yeah. But kids should know about, they should be ready for what's outside there. But it's hard, because again, with social media, kids have access to other kids doing whatever, and they're teaching them. I was telling the Spanish teacher, by the time that we are picking up on what they are doing, it's already done. That's kind of how I am. By the time you get the letter, the call, it's already happened. You're a little too late. So we got to get ahead of it. But yeah, but it was a good, so mass is about 50 minutes or whatever. So I was standing there, she was standing there. We were talking for like a whole 70, 60 minutes. It was nice. It was nice. And then we ended on like just communicating, because she's Colombian. So her accent is super thick, and she'd be like mixing up pronouns, he's and she's. We talked about that too. Like, well, because some of the kids are like asking, well, what if it's not a he or a she? Well, in Spanish, just got the genders. I don't know how that's working out. But you got to learn the genders. But they're like, well, but what if? Because maybe they follow someone has decided they're not, like, that's a thing now, But sometimes she would confuse them up, or sometimes she would say the wrong word. But she's like, I sometimes worry about my language. I'm like, nah, man, we were talking. Like, it'd be annoying if every 3 seconds, like, did I say that right? Did I say that right? But you just do it. Just do it. All right. But I'm about to go to work now. 6 o'clock? 7? Yeah. I'm gonna get there an hour early. Hopefully the doors are open, because that would suck if I get there and I try to get in. There's a keypad, but that'd be weird. I don't even know if I should go that early. Maybe I'll get there a half an hour early. 'Cause at least people There might be a little, I don't even know. I had the plan. You see, you can make plans. Because if I get there too early, the light will be on. And it's dark. So when people come in there, they'll see there's a light in there and they'll come in there and be like, what are you doing in here? And I'm like, I'm trying to get ready for the lesson. But it's possible that the doors are locked. Because one time I came and the doors were locked. So I could be in the building, but the door would be locked, which would defeat the purpose. And then whoever's coming to unlock it, again, like, why are you here so early? And there's a camera there and it says, Matthew, is it? All right. I'll try to prep mentally at the house. I don't know. Anyway, well, we hit 45. But have a wonderful Thursday. And yeah, December 1st. Christmas in 24 days. I'm actually excited about Christmas because I've been doing Japanese Christmases. I haven't done an American Christmas I did come home sometimes for Christmas. Technically I was here last year at Christmas. But I don't know. I'm usually a humbug about holidays, but I'm feeling Christmassy-ish. I might even walk through the malls. There was a guy who looked like Santa at the breakfast date I went on. I guess it's the season. I don't know if Santa people look that way all year round. It could have been the real Santa. Like he happens to live in the area. But yeah. Well, I guess I don't know if it's because if you shave, you just look like I think it's a beard that makes you look like Santa. So if you got rid of the white beard or you dyed it, you just look like Al from Tool Time. I don't know. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.